We begin a new week on the compliance tip of the day, and this week we are going to focus on communications. Today it's the clash of culture after a merger.
The compliance tip of the day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. And now I'd like to say a few words about the latest podcast on the Compliance Podcast Network, AI Today in 5 with 5. Thrilled to announce the inaugural episode of my latest podcast series, AI Today in 5. I wanted to do a short, curated set of stories and news stories about AI for the compliance professional and the greater business professional. You can check it out on Megaphone, the Compliance Podcast Network, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple, or wherever great podcasts are listened to. Check out AI Today in 5. One of the most difficult things to predict in a mergers and acquisition context is the culture merger of the two entities involved. It can go either way. Usually it goes one way. What's the role of compliance? Well, some mergers claim to be a merger of equals. The reality is far different, as there is always one corporate winner that continues to exist and one corporate loser that simply ceases to exist. The same is true across industries and countries. Witness the debacles of Daimler Chrysler, the disaster of HP and autonomy, and the downhill slide of United Airlines after its merger with Continental Airlines. In the compliance space, this clash of cultures is unfortunately seen way too often. One company may have a robust compliance program with a commitment from top management to have a best practices compliance program. Another company may put profits before compliance. Whichever company comes out the winner in the merger, it will certainly mean not only conflict, but if the winning entity is not seen as value in compliance, it may mean investigations and possibly even violations going forward. There are 4 different types of cultural leadership, and this is critical for compliance. Not unsurprisingly, they are not segregated by geographic region, but attitudes toward decision-making can range along a continuum from strongly top-down to strongly consensual. Attitudes toward authority range from extreme egalitarian to extremely hierarchical. And whichever one of these you're involved in or the candidate that you acquire will be critical. They are consensual and egalitarian, consensual and hierarchical, top-down and hierarchical, and top-down and egalitarian. These cultures will impact your compliance program as well, in addition to your role as a compliance leader. Simply think of your hotline and reliance on many cultures to speak up or even raise their hand when they see an ethical or compliance issue. You must work with various cultures within your organization to overcome reluctance. Understanding the cultural disconnect after a merger or acquisition is critical. For many, the greatest business opportunities lie in emerging countries. Obviously, this is Southeast Asia. China is going to be problematic right now because of the imbroglio over trade with Trump. Russia is embargoed now since the war with Ukraine, and the Middle East is still up in the air with the ceasefire of Gaza and Israel ongoing. But in nearly every case where cultures are hierarchical and deferential to authority, they are deeply woven into that company's national psyche. The management style of pushing decisions down an organization may not fit in emerging market context and often trip up Western companies. Learning how your employees in other countries will approach decision-making and leadership and culture will give you insight as a compliance professional going forward. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Number 1, a culture clash through a merger can be extremely negative for a company. 2, what are the cultures of leadership in your organization and your acquired organization? And 3, learning how your employees approach decision-making can provide insight into the culture of your company. That's that I'm happy to do for you, the compliance profession, is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip, either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced